Thank you so much for the invitation. I'm really happy to have this speech tonight or today with you remotely. I'm live from the network school, which is in a small artificial island. Not so far from Singapore. We are in Malaysia in the special economic zone, and as already Maciej shared, so Network School is a project funded by Balaji Srinivasan, which is the former CTO of Coinbase. I will address this topic soon, but let me introduce first myself and the title of my speech, which is Network School, a Tech Monastery for Dark Talents. I am Leonardo Manfrini. I'm part of Network School V2, which is like the second iteration of Network School after an experiment that ran from September till the end of the year. That was like a V1 that was for 128 people. It was like testing the possibility to have like a permanent node of the network school here in Malaysia. Now with the V2, I'm part of these 256 dark talents from all around the world. We are more than 80 nationalities, and we are part of this great experiment, which is Network School V2. Which has the ambition to become like a full, long-term node. So the experiment will run for 12 months, and we will have like an exponential growth of this community during this year. I'm here since the beginning, since March 1st, and basically this is the end of the second month here, and it's pretty fast. It's pretty interesting. I will cover some stuff regarding this. But regarding myself, I'm a former founder of a VC-based startup. The startup started as a crypto company, and then we repivoted into a kind of an accelerator for intellectual properties, like a media accelerator. And most recently, the company changed name and became an agentic AI factory, which is based in between California and Milano. The company is called Pensiero. But I left my own company at the end of the year, and I'm kind of advising from outside because I was feeling something not aligned anymore with my ambitions and with my, let's say, with my path. And like synchronically, I got selected for the network school, and here I am. So while I'm figuring out, let's say, my next move, I'm full-time dedicated to building this place, and in particular, I see this place, and I want to present this place as a tech monastery, which is a word which Balaji himself used like during like a speech here last month, and he basically said, "Yeah, we are basically building a tech monastery." And I liked a lot like this definition. So now I'm presenting my experience at Network School as a tech monastery for dark talents. But what is Network School in the first place? So Network School is a frontier community for techno-optimists, which is building a global meritocracy, and is founded by Balaji Srinivasan. So Balaji is an influential crypto investor and former CTO of Coinbase, and a bunch of years ago wrote this book called The Network States. And this book, like I suggest strongly to read it through, is the basic foundation of this vision. And it's based on a specific thesis, which is like the traditional West is declining, the empire is falling, and basically the empire is the United States. So the next will be the next geopolitical situation will be the China against or the China versus the internet, and the internet based on numbers is already grossing like the the GDP of the United States, and the internet is fragmented, but at the same time is like kind of unified. We are all connected through the internet. We are able to create cloud communities, and the idea of like the network state is exactly a community that is born in the cloud, but then eventually find a land and then organize themselves till eventually having enough like negotiation power to get some sovereignty. But this, of course, this is like a long-term vision. Before of it, we have to facilitate like this change in a way, and also preserve the knowledge of the falling empire in this sense. And also one of the consideration behind network school is a place for, let's say, preserving the knowledge of the past and transmitting it across like this age of change that will happen in Balaji's vision in the next years. And also founders of future nation people, they can start up what he calls startup societies. And at the same time, also is envisioning like a network school as a post-West Academy era, so with a post-West Academy institution, so a post-Stanford type of things, because Western academia is kind of broken. In the past, we were studying for having also good money, having a degree from a certain university and having good money for our job. Right now, like this system is kind of broken. There is the proof to earn, let's say, proof to pass an exam, but not anymore. Not anymore. Any real upside, any real credential from your learning. And there's a lot of what he calls dark talents all around the world. So people, they are kind of underrepresented, or which their talent is completely hidden. And so there is no more global meritocracy, because the United States in the past has like this role to be open for meritocracy all around the world, but the history is running in reverse in that sense, and slowly the United States is kind of closing themselves, so they're not even more open to dark talents like they were in the past. So with these premises, network school is exactly this post let's say Harvard, post-Stanford institution, which is a great experiment to start up, startup societies, and at the same time, like to build, a community of learners, sovereign learners and builders for the new age, a community of good people aligned by the values of being, techno-positive, techno-optimist. But let me focus on my definition of the network school. So the network school as a tech monastery. What I mean for a tech monastery. So Tech Monastery for Dark Talents. Of course, this is like a fan art that I made. I made it here, and as I said, using Balaji's definition of we are in a tech monastery here, and for tech monastery, I mean a space of sovereign self discipline, focus, and shared rigor in a community where structure and immersion awaken the will to learn and to build and to have fun, of course, doing that. So we are kind of nerds in a way. We have fun, like learning cryptography or learning difficult things, and building it, like building the potential next unicorn, building with AI agents, so literally upskilling ourselves, like in a self-sovereign way. And I use a quote to describe this. This is a personal, let's say, picture of what is network school for me. So imagine network school is like a West Point, the military school in the United States, which meets Stanford, meets Aristoteles Lyceum, meets internet startup founder meme culture. So it's literally like an innovative place. And in this sense, the place is also innovative in terms of like the positioning, because we are in Malaysia, nearby Singapore, which is like a super advanced city, and like in a place where there is like a special economic zone for detaxation, for tech builders and people. They will open like, their own startup and stuff like that, and we're kind of living like in this abandoned real estate projects called Forest City. If you want to watch it, it's kind of interesting, the history of this place, and kind of Balaji popped in and Network School popped in, and they're kind of negotiated like some things with this abandoned real estate project. And we're all living in an hotel, and a 4-star hotel. So Balaji always says this is frontier, not fancy, but it's also pretty fancy. So I'm living in my Manfrini cell, which is like my room that is made every day by someone, and I don't have to take care of the laundry, the food, and stuff like that. I can just focus on building, on learning, on self improving myself, and yeah, that's why I'm calling this place like a tech monastery for dark talents. So here all the pillars are built around like three main let's say slogan, three main word, which are burn, earn, learn. So, and the burn part is like why I say we are in West Point, because we are kind of pushing ourselves every day in the gym. Right now it's like 50 days in a row that then I'm training constantly. I'm having an healthy lifestyle. I'm just like in taking a pause because I had some problem, like physically I pushed too much in the last week, so I had to pause a bit. But I know I lost almost 5-6 kilos in fat. I feel very healthy. I feel very energized, and that's our daily pray, let's say, in the gym together. And at our self pace, it's totally voluntary, as everything here is up to you doing everything. And yeah, this is like the burn side of things. Then we have earn. So network school is attracting a lot of startups building in here. Then potentially, if they are good, they get funding. And so we are also working on increasing the GDP of this place, which will attract more people, and potential will increase like the future vision of the network state. Increasing the GDP is crucial for network state vision, and for network school as well. So we are all building in the sense. There's a lot of like entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs, but not only. So the learn part is also an important thing, and maybe the most important thing, because we are a school. And within this self-sovereign experiment where everyone is kind of self-upskilling themselves, we are all free to organize stuff. There are some like official events. Yesterday we were having a fireside chat with Vitalik Buterin, Ethereum co-founder. Next week we will have like Jess Pollack, co-founder of Base. So we're having here all the best founders of tech companies in the world having like a talk and fire chat with us. At the same time, we are all learning from each other, because everyone brings here something unique, something different, and is sharing it with the community, organizing events and stuff like that. So, as part of this great experiment, which is Network School V2, I'm also running an experiment. I get inspired to run experiment to help network school improving like the learn side of things, because the first month was really exciting, but was kind of iterating. There were a lot of like digital nomads that they left at the end of the month, so it was kind of exciting for the first 2 weeks. And then I was asking myself, okay, what I can do more to push a more high quality level for learning, as I have a background as a lecturer. So I have a double PhD in philosophy, and I turned out to be a tech guy, being a startup tech co-founder. So, but with this like academical background, and I want to push like high level quality, as I know everyone here wants, Balaji wants. So I started to run my own experiment within the greater experiment. And my experiment within the experiment is called Learn OS, and activation rituals, which I call learnathons. So basically, learnathons are something pretty common. Also, Network School is organizing official learnathons, which are in presence events where basically we lock ourselves and we learn difficult topics like machine learning, and how to run our first machine learning model, or cryptography, or math, or stuff like that. So learnathons are part of the iterative curriculum of network schools. But I also decided to organize some learnathons before network school, or even decided to propose the first official one. I ran a first Learnathon, and I see Learnathon as an activation ritual that transform the intention to learn into embodied action. What I mean for that? I mean that sometimes we want to learn new things, but the problem is not like is not the difficult of learning. The problem is our will. So that's why I'm saying this is a tech monastery that is testing our willpower, and is testing our willing to learn. And sometimes we know that we need some ignition to start it, and learnathons are exactly that. So I see that as a capsule in time and space, focusing 72 hours a weekend, where there is like a call to action for people for learning stuff. And the first Learnathon, I tested it on myself. I basically, okay, I'm a tech co-founder, but I'm not a technical person. I don't have a technical background, so I'm not a coder by background. But I truly believe, as Balaji believes, that we have to learn the base of coding. We have thinking code for being sovereign individuals in the future, and to understand like the future world, we must have like this type of knowledge. So basically, in order to embody my own learn operating system, which I will describe later, I decided to test the first learnathon on myself. I locked myself in my room, in my cell, for 72 hours, and in 72 hours I learned how to ship, how to run my first image classifier. So I basically became a data scientist intern in 72 hours, and then I share it. I created a framework for allowing people to do in my same path. And the experiment was quite successful. We had 11.4% succession rate of people completing let's say the submission of the model. And I created some experience point system to help people tracking their progresses, some reflection breakpoint, in order to not just doing stuff, but also breaking what they've done, and also reflecting over it. I'm at the end of the story, I'm a philosopher, so I kind of design a learnathon, mostly building stuff, but also philosophically, with some reflection in it, because I think it's very important to break things, and also to repeat and reinforce our learning with some failure. And basically also giving people some incentive. Here, everyone knows me as the pizza guy. I'm Italian because I cook and I sell pizza weekly at the community concert that we are self-organizing every Tuesday. So I'm kind of like the pizza guy. So I put some pizza as an incentive for people for shipping the model, and was quite fun. And at the end of the event, we had like some pizza together, and we celebrate our wins. Here, an important slogan is "Win and help win." So the learnathons are these like activation rituals. The second one that allows me to be here and to get in touch with Maciej and with the blockchain Scotland community was like even an experiment further. So what I realized during like the first learnathon was that people, after my presentation, my monk mood vibes, they were like themselves going in monk mood. So I was expecting a lot of people grouping together in the library, starting to learn from each other, and spending the weekend together learning. But actually happens like the opposite. Everyone was kind of spreading around in focus mode, and just shipping in 72 hours, trying to ship like the goal of the day for 3 days till the final submission. So that surprised me a lot and make me think of a possible iteration of the second learnathon, which was much harder because the topic was much harder. It was not just like fancy AI, what's behind the AI that everyone wants to learn about. It was cryptography one. So we took Dan Bonnet Stanford course on cryptography, which is available on Coursera, and we decided to do like this second learnathon on that. And as in the first learnathon, where I invited like a brilliant polymath, Jonah Lynch, talking about mapping the future of science with latent space math. Basically, in the second learnathon, I invited Porter Adams from ZK Sync, which is a great zero knowledge cryptographer, a builder of a real world blockchain layer 2, which is Zeta Sync. And he taught like a class for 1,500 people teaching zero knowledge cryptography. And I asked him like to teach the basic of cryptography, because I didn't know which is like the starting point of people regarding this topic, and I have to adapt the learnathon from beginner to advanced. So that was like a fully remote, fully async experiment, because I strongly believe that we need an infrastructure for decentralized community, for having like a layer of coordination through learning, and that is exactly LearnOS. So LearnOS is the prototype. Is an open source project, is a prototype behind all the activity that I'm doing here. So the learnathons as activations, and the hackathon that I will organize soon. So LearnOS is a sovereign operating system for learning, reputation, and propagation. So what I want to underline, that learning doesn't begin with information, it begins with ignition. So you just need the right start. So let me dive deep a little bit into LearnOS and what I mean as learning as infrastructure. People that are familiar with blockchain, they are familiar with the concept of infra. Exactly what I'm trying to do is like turning learning as an infra. And how? So basically, my LearnOS has two main pillars. They are both converging into being like a network sovereignty engine for future startup societies, for future decentralized communities. And the two pillars are learn, which is like the internal cultivation of high quality content, and then the external one is media. So the external propagation of it, because the internet has changed completely the way with which we learn, with which we consume. Let's say we consume contents all the time, and we're always floated by, thousands of contents. They are, low quality TikTok reels and stuff like that. But it's a matter of fact that our span of attention is reducing. It's a matter of fact that we all are adopting like this speed also in consuming contents. And Western academia and an high quality education should adapt to it to attract young people. They are internet native in this sense, and they will consume real in the first place. So I think we can do a lot of things in that sense. And media doesn't mean just like marketing in this sense. It means you know making more democratized and more accessible, high quality content, and creating a gateway for learners to enter in the really deep and complex topics, which is like the objective of network schools, so building sovereign individuals. And In my way, LearnOS, if you are familiar with the traditional middle age structure with the trivium and quadrivium, so basically grammatic, rhetoric, dialectic, and cosmology, music, and so basically what we call STEM topic right now. So basically the objective of LearnOS, the ambition of LearnOS, is to rewrite like the trivium and quadrivium for the internet area. So imagine Harvard meets GitHub, but curated by sovereigns. And basically, the LearnOS is available. I don't want to dive deep into it. It's just like a quick overview. And as I said, learnathons are activation rituals for activating community, activating learners from all around the world, and potentially get to know this institution from all around the world, spread all around the world. Because I think dark talents is the most hard category to find in the world. So learners and builders and entrepreneurs and smart people all around the world, they are not kind of fitting their own their own environment. They're kind of feeling wrong there. So it is like exactly my experience. So back in Europe, I was feeling kind of not fitting. I was feeling that I was not like expressing all my potential as a creative person, which has like a weird background in philosophy, then turn into a tech entrepreneur, and challenge himself with raising money. We raised 1.4 million like for our startup. So I think I was feeling kind of described by the word dark talent when the first time I applied for network school. And I applied for network school exactly like 5 minutes after the first iteration, Wu1, and I got accepted for the Wu2. So not too late, but finally, I think everything was aligned for me for Wu2. I want to stay here for the long term. I want to help like this place. So what's next for LearnOS and experiment, which I'm running within the greater experiment? So I'm running this experiment and I'm iterating this experiment because I want to make the greater experiment succeed. So I will iterate. I will iterate it within network school first, till achieving a sort of validation. LearnOS, if you have the chance to read the documentation, I will drop it later. So it's not even just a document. It's like let's call it a philosophical architecture, a systematic architecture for a new field in research for education. And I think could be like pretty ambitious, and we need a lot of people to work on it because we don't have enough decentralized application for tracking what I'm trying to design, what network school is trying to design, and that's why, for example, I'm sharing also my failure. So I for the second Learnathon, I think I was like really ambitious because running a fully remote Learnathon, fully async, in a topic like cryptography with very little coordination from remote and just up to self-sovereign individuals. So it's really ambitious. And at the end of the story, I had like no people submitting, the final quest for the second Learnathon. But I learned a lot through it. I get in touch with a lot of smart new people. 57% of the people they took part of my Learnathon are outside of network school, which is for me is like a really interesting signal of the willing to learn of a lot of people all around the world. And that's why I'm getting in touch with you guys, and that's why I'm talking, sharing my experience within network school as a tech monastery. um, so I won't keep continue doing that, like the iteration of the experiment to helping the greater experiment. And it's also an open call for contribution. The project that I'm running is completely open source. Is completely, I want to get feedback from people. I want to get potentially help within network school and also outside of network school, because I do believe that this LearnOS could be forkable for each community and can be adaptable for different needs of decentralized societies and decentralized communities. So the development of the LearnOS as an open source educational infrastructure is literally, it's a core ethos for me. It's so this should be up in the air, learning in public, and giving like the framework, giving all the resourcing open source is really part of the ethos. And then eventually, what's next? I'm thinking really ahead with the fantasy. So creating a sovereign learning ecosystem that transcend traditional institutions. So it means that my LearnOS and my attempt help network school to be really became post Stanford institution and post Harvard institution, which is working better, not only for learning, for passing the exam and getting the degree, but learning for earning real money and having real credential, peer reviewed, on chain, from our peers, and that can be transferable all around the internet with us. For example, with a ZK passport, I'm giving some glimpse of what I'm building, and then happy to address it in the questions, because I'm condensing a lot of stuff like in 20 minutes. And thinking even further, eventually building a network of tech monasteries for dark talents worldwide. So I strongly believe that potentially my interpretation of network school as a tech monastery is just one of the possible interpretation of this place based on my experience. And yeah, based on something real, because Balaji says it. So I'm not I'm not inventing the word. So he says tech monastery, but kind of it's kind of my vibes. And it's exactly potentially that. So network school wants to be a place which incubate a community of future founders of different startup society that are fully decentralized. So I would love to have like nodes of tech monasteries like that, network schools like that, in all around the world, or even in the old-fashioned Europe, because I strongly believe that Europe has really something to teach to US, has really something to teach to Asia, and which is our amazing tradition, our amazing culture. I'm personally writing a paper and researching around the past parallels of network societies and network states in the past. So basically, example religious community that were like network society in the past, the Catholic Church after the fall down of the Roman Empire. So there are like few parallel example, past example that I'm studying as an analogy for building the next. And I strongly believe that we have the potential here to go up and running with this node, the source node of network school, and then eventually creating spin-offs, decentralized spin-off all around the world. And it would be fun to see, the logo that I shared before, this one, Tech Monastery, all around the world, because we have our own interpretation of the network school. That would be really, really fun, and would be like the future of education in a way. Um, if you're curious about a network school, you should join us as a member or as a fellow. And if you apply, as Balaji says, boom. So let me use his own word. And like this is like a brand fresh, brand new initiative from official initiative from Network School. It's called Network School Fellowship. And as you can already see in the trade, in the preview, anyone, anywhere, and you get $100,000 for moving here, committing here for 1 year, and it's global meritocracy. I let Balaji speaks about that.
I have to share the audio, share audio from your web browser.
Sorry, you don't hear my audio?
No, yeah, I think you have to like share the audio from your web browser with Zoom, which
How it works? Or maybe I can send.
yeah, or you can share the link with me, and I will share it in our group, and people can also watch. But we can see the visuals, so you can like sort of like talk. You can still play the video.
Yeah, let's see. I think yeah, it's easier. It's easier to share it later if you don't hear my audio now. But yeah, I shared the visual because they are cool. Then it's like it's a 50-second video, so just watch it. I will share it later, but just watch the video. It's like I'm putting it here. Yeah, apologize. I think I So maybe you miss my audio, but I really like the final statement of Balaji. So the only connection you need is an internet connection. So you don't need any reference or something to be part of it. Just like your merit and an internet connection to apply. If you are curious about the fellowship, about the traditional membership, because the fellowship is a specific program that like gets like funding, but you also can apply as a member, and basically it's very flexible here. We kind of stay. We decide every month if staying or going away. So it's the network is pretty more than 200 people because some people are staying few months, some people are staying 1 month. So it's really a diverse environment. I'm really available to address a one-on-one question, and this is my Calendly. I will uh, I will share later with Macei as well. So if you are curious about Network School, about my experience, about LearnOS and what I'm building, you can book a one-on-one with me to learn more about that. And also, after the call, if you're interested to apply to the fellowship or the membership, and traditional membership, I can also refer you guys. So there is a referral program, and I think is helpful because like the competition is pretty high from all around the world, and that's it. Uh, I want to finish with I'm Italian, so with an Italian poet, Dante Alighieri, and uh, Dante's Ulysses, which probably you know. And this quote is: "Consider your seed. You were not born to live like brutes, but to pursue virtue and knowledge." And I think here is a really great place to to pursue virtue, being a good person, and knowledge, and being like a free, self-sovereign learner and individual. Thank you so much for your attention, and I'm happy to address every question right now in the Q&A.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. I would just ask, so if people have like some disruptive idea, maybe related to blockchain, that you encourage them to apply for this, maybe like either school or the fellowship, and then basically if they are accepted, then they will basically move to this island next between Singapore and Malaysia. Is that how it works? And also, like, what are the criteria? Is this like because in the network state, Balaji is very holistic. He's not just like technology. He's like a philosopher. He's like a politician. He has so many different dimensions in his thinking. So can you tell us something about like what are the criteria according like how you evaluate who gets this fellowship?
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to address it. So let me clarify, the two different things. So there is like a traditional membership in the network school, which is, let's say, with it's a membership. You pay to stay here. You pay like a very low fee because, to be honest, to living in an hotel, we're paying like for shared room like $1,500. That in the US is very cheap. Of course, it depends from where you come from, but I spend less than living in Milan, so it's like kind of I think pretty affordable. And the only condition is feeling to fitting to be like a dark talent. You decide, you dive deep into what means to be a dark talent. I think I'm a dark talent, and I got accepted. So that's easy question. Regarding like the fellowship, of course, the fellowship is giving money, so it's giving $100,000 and asking a commitment for moving here for 1 year. So 1 year commitment in here. What does it mean? So there are three main categories for the fellowship. The most important one and the most focused one is tech founders. So if you are building your startup, you are in the early stage, you are building in the blockchain space or in the AI space or in general, like in technology, you can apply. So you get 100K, you get the potential to get funded directly by Balaji Fund and a list of very interesting investors, because we have Ben Horowitz from A16Z and a lot of people in the network. If you go in the page of ns.com/fellowship, then I will share the deck with you, Maciej, so you can share the resources I've put at the end of the deck. So you will see all the investors in the network. So a really great network, like, kind of Silicon Valley, basically, but here in Malaysia. And here is a special economic zone. So you can set up your startup here and pay, your runway will say thank you because a little is cheap. And you can find a talent pool in here because there's a lot of smart people. Not everyone wants to be a founder. Someone wants to be like employee number 1 or employee number 2 or employee number 3. So there's a lot of opportunity also for employee. Right now, for example, I'm not applying to the fellowship because I don't think. I just left my own startup. I'm not feeling ready for jump-starting a new startup. I want to stay here to build in this place. So I don't fit probably the definition of being a tech founder anymore in this stage of my life. Maybe in the future, yes, because I'm really an entrepreneur in soul. But yeah, I'm a diverse person, so I like to do different things. I would love soon to start like a lecture on philosophy of history. And so, yes, if you want to apply as an historian, as a sociologist, as you should be just a tech optimist and believe in the power of technology. But your field could be whatever: psychology, philosophy, biology. We also had here like a very important focus on health and genomics. So I think like the field are pretty open to every field. So don't feel yourself constrained if you're not a tech founder.
Amazing.
A second category after for the fellowship is AI content creator. So the thesis, as I enlightened in my Learn OS, is like this media propagation. So the media is changing. Here there's a lot of creatives. We have like people producing music with AI, like music producers. We have like amazing creatives. Not only tech founders, really creative people. And we believe, Balaji believes that AI will change the way with which like we create, and AI will superpower us in a way. And the creative people, they are just excited about using different tools and different technology. So if you are an AI creator, podcaster, video YouTuber, or blog, you have your Substack with thousands of people, you are a great fit for network school, or also for network school fellowship. And the third category is a community builder. So community building. So if you want to come here to build a community and potentially then start up your own startup society after it. So as I know, Maciej, you can be like a great fit because you have a plan for hidden in your pocket for a potential network state. So you are a great fit to come here in the network school. Those are the categories. Yeah.
Amazing. We have time for one question before we move on. Any questions? All right. Okay. Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing this. And I'm going to share, please share any links with me, which I'm going to share with people here. And let's see, maybe some visionary disruptors that we have here, they will apply to basically to come there to Malaysia to.
I strongly suggest to people to have like a one-on-one chat with me, as I'm free. I don't have like a full-time job so far, so I'm working full-time to this experiment of Learn OS and Learnathons. So I would be really happy to get in touch, address all your questions, your doubts. I know can be scary, moving all around the world for a place. I mean, this place is great, but it's a kind of a leap of faith in a way with very little information. So I really give my time for free to address all the questions of people. Please book a one-on-one with me if you want to connect.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much.